Welcome to the At Homish podcast, creating spaces where we belong. Some of you may know the other tagline we have, where it's "Don't be ashamed of your story, it will inspire others." When I think about podcasting, it's really important to not look at it as just people having a conversation or just talking about whatever's happening. It's really an opportunity for us to tell our story. And so maybe there's somebody that's in your life, or maybe they're getting older, maybe you don't see them that much. Take time to capture those stories. And the reason why I'm saying this is with the Snohomish Podcast Network, we have an opportunity for people to come in and capture these stories. That way you can remember it, you can pass it on to family members. So hit us up, let us know your story, and we'll get some time in for you to record whatever it is you want to capture for the future. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this episode. I'm so excited to have a guest here today who I've known now for a couple years. I had seen him around the community. And I think just over the past year or so with a new role, we've gotten to know each other a little bit more. So I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Well, Will, thank you. Appreciate it, brother. It's been some time, and I was wondering. I keep hearing from people about this podcast. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna be all like, a jerk about this. But when the heck is Will gonna invite me to this podcast? So it was a natural moment. It was a natural moment that we're talking about Ghana, and we're talking about the NAACP, and you're like, hey, John. Would you like to do a podcast? And I'm like, it's about time. It's time. I literally tricked him into inviting me.
Wow.
And here we are. So yes. So look, I am John Agyopang. Let me see. So I've lived in Snohomish County for the better part of almost 30 years.
Okay.
I have two children, 26 and 23. And I love this place. I love what it represents. We actually moved here. If you're familiar with 128th of I-5, there's the elementary school there called Penny Creek Elementary School. And across the street, it's now like a senior home, but they used to have buffaloes there.
Really?
It's a buffalo farm.
I didn't know that.
So when we moved here, that was what the neighborhood looked like. And obviously, there's been a lot of growth in this area.
Right.
I'm a 25-year employee of Boeing until last November when I left, and I'm currently the new president of the Snohomish County NAACP, and that's who I am.
So I'm going to do something here because I'm kind of confident that people know.
Yes.
But can you tell people what is the NAACP? What does that mean, and what is the organization?
Well, so the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, and I don't want to insult anybody's intelligence, but that's what it is. Formed well over 100 years ago by a bunch of people that truly believe that there should be equality in this country. So we are the largest, oldest civil rights organization, if not in this country, in the world. But I think today, a lot of people think about civil rights and they probably think, well, it's even when you think about the word colored people.
Right.
It's outdated.
Really use that. Right.
Who calls themselves a colored person anymore? But at one point in the history of this country, Black people were colored people.
Right.
So here we are. Are we African American? Are we Black? But as the president of the Snohomish County branch of the NAACP, I really, really think that civil rights, we're not just talking about Black people anymore.
Right.
We're talking about the civil rights of immigrants, talking about the civil rights of Native Americans, poor white people.
Yes.
Right? Because this is a class thing now in my mind, right? So you have the 1%ers who literally have, 60% of the wealth of this country. And then is the rest of us, right? So for me, I think there are a lot of people who might not look like me or will, but they literally are out there fighting a good fight. So when I think about the work the NAACP does today, it is helping all people whose rights have been walked upon, not respected, not appreciated. So how do we help those people to get their rights and truly participate in this this amazing experiment that we call America?
Yeah.
So that's what when I think about the NAACP, that's what I think.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And I recall a conversation several years ago where, and this was back when I was in college at University of Washington, Tacoma.
Yeah.
And I remember we had an associate vice chancellor for equity and a person I talked to from the business school. As a lot of times people in the business school, nothing against them, but they tend to lean more conservative. Yeah. And they often don't see a need for equity. But one of the things that the guy told me was, well, white's a color too. And I'm like, okay, well, hold on. Like, yeah, you got a point there. And so I do feel it's really important when we talk about equity and inclusion that we are actually including all. Yes. But also keeping in mind that there have been different groups within this country and throughout the world who have been excluded from opportunity and calling that in, you know, when we have that opportunity. Yeah.
No, I totally agree. And, there's a saying in the Black community that not all skin folk are kinfolk. Right. Yeah. So I've met a lot of white people. Yeah. Who are truly, like they get it. Right. And I've met some Black people who tell me they're not Black. Oh, no. Like I'm from Somalia. Or I'm from Ethiopia, and I'm not Black like the West Africans, right? That's what they mean.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So for me, it's diversity of thought and diversity of how you truly go about this world that we live in, right? And there's a quick story that I have here. So a few years ago, I'm in Ghana and I'm in this village that there's literally no running water, no electricity. Okay. And I see this white couple and they have 4 children with them. I would say all 4 were under the age of 8. And here they were, deep African Ghanaian village, no electricity, no running water. Yeah. And I heard them talking and they sounded American. Americans just have a way that we roam around about the world. We're louder. This is true. But they had a Southern accent. So I went up, introduced myself to them, and I said, hey, are you guys Americans? And the guy's like, yeah, we're from Tennessee. They're missionaries. They're there for 4 years, they said. Wow. And this guy and I spoke for a good half hour about his love for Ghana, his love for God, and the stuff he's doing there and what he hopes to accomplish. And I walked away thinking, wow. So here's this guy from Tennessee who's living in Ghana. He's literally, this guy is not half-assed it, right? He is 100% in with his wife, children in Ghana. Right. This guy is going to walk away from here knowing probably more about Ghana than some Ghanaians.
That's so true.
Yet this guy will never be given a credit for having any kind of, culture or Black, whatever. Right. But if you're a Black-skinned person in America, people immediately, like, you've earned the cred. Because you're Black. And I'm like, well, there are a lot of Black people who don't know anything about the struggle. Ooh, they don't know about the NAACP. They don't wake up every day fighting the fight. So do I shun this guy because he's white? Right. And accept this Black guy who knows absolutely nothing, hasn't taken time to educate themselves about the struggle? Yeah. So for me, it's you just don't judge a book by the cover, right? Just accept people where they are and take them in and go from there.
And there's 2 things that come to mind when I hear that story, and I've brought it up in a lot of aspects of my work. One is contextual privilege. Yes. Because oftentimes in the work of equity and inclusion, the term that we hear first and foremost is white privilege. Yes. And yes, in a system that was built on racial ideology and the dominant culture at the origin was white or European, then there is privilege in being in that categorical group. But then also, as you're mentioning, you have people of various ethnicities or socioeconomic status or education level that now have different privilege based on being in those spaces. Yes. Because if you don't have a doctoral degree, your voice at a university you have no privilege.
Yeah.
You have very little access, right? And then same thing if you're working in public schools, if you don't have a certificate where you're a teacher or an administrator, you don't really get to determine the direction of a classroom or of a building.
Agree.
And so your voice is limited based on various aspects of your identity.
I think being in America makes you privileged.
I can agree with that.
If you're an American citizen, even the dollar being the accepted currency basically of the world, we benefit in so many ways that we don't even realize, just being in America and some of the stuff, you literally have to leave this country to realize how fortunate, how blessed we truly are in this country.
I don't know. Are you familiar with the comedian Carlos Mencia?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I've been trying to get him on the podcast, so I hope he hears this and then returns my call.
Come on, brother Carlos. We need you here. All right, go ahead.
But I saw him earlier this year, actually, at the Tacoma Comedy Club.
Yeah.
And one of the things he talked about was the whole Make America Great concept.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But the way he approached it was, what do you mean make America great? America is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I have not traveled much of the world.
Yeah.
Let me put that disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
Now, when I was in the Army, I did make it to the Philippines and Thailand and to Japan. And I've been to Canada and Mexico, just barely across the borders.
Yeah.
But what he was saying is, look at what's happening with our borders.
Yeah.
You have millions of people wanting to come here.
Yeah.
They would not want to come here if there wasn't great opportunity for people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we talk about the big languages in business, English, Japanese, you go to other countries, you see things in English. And so to have been born into this country and into the opportunity that's available to people who are here, it's kind of great. Don't hate me.
No. And it is great. And if you say make America great again, so which decade are we talking about?
Yeah.
Right. But for me as an immigrant, I have to have that lens as an immigrant and how I see America. So for me, my immigrant story is very similar, or it's a story that I'm sure a lot of immigrants can tell. I was a 9 or 10-year-old child in Accra, Ghana, capital city of Ghana. We used to have this warehouse, which was maybe the distance was about 100 yards, a football field. And this warehouse always had food, bags of rice, wheat, millet, flour, all this stuff. We just used to call it the food house. And they would give bags of food away. And when I was old enough to really be able to see stuff, I looked at some of the bags and they all had USAID.
Oh, yeah.
And so I go up to this gentleman and I'm like, who is this guy? Who is this guy, USAID? At 9 years old, he said, no, he chuckled a little bit. He said, no, this is not a guy. This is a country called United States of America. They do this for the world. And I'm like, wow, like they've never met me. Like why do they care to give me free food? And at 9, I remember telling myself, I want to go to this place.
Wow.
I want to go to this amazing country this must be, if you remove heaven, this United States of America must be number 2. Right? And so what truly, in my personal opinion, what makes America great is the fact that 9-year-old kid left Ghana, came to America, and for the last 40 years, that kid has given his entire talent, God-given ability to America. Not to Ghana, to America. And my story is millions of people who have chosen to leave their country and come here because they believed in the American dream. And they have contributed to this country. That is what makes America great, is that so many people are coming here because wherever they were born, whatever, they just didn't see it there and they came here. What doesn't make America great is that 9-year-old kid saying, I'd rather stay in Ghana.
Yeah.
I'd rather stay in China. Even someone like Elon Musk saying, I'd rather stay in South Africa, right? I mean, he chose to come here.
True.
And that is truly, if you're looking at the bigger picture of what makes America great, we are an immigrant country. Everyone came here with a dream. They gave it to us,
right,
and not to someone else. Yeah. So let's keep it that way, because the moment that kid stays in China and given to China, that's when America is not great.
I greatly appreciate that story.
Yeah.
But I do want to come back to just the idea of people coming to this country.
America, yeah.
And I want to reference a conference that I attended back in 2008, because it was when I was still at the university. But it was hosted by the Black Student Union over at Washington State University. That's why I hesitated on the name. Anyway, the Huskies. It was the PAC-X conference. And then they had it like in red, black, and green.
That's funny.
Because it was the PAC-10 at the time.
Yeah.
But we invited folks from USC and UCLA and, all the PAC-10 schools at the time to come up and engage in this conference. But we also included Gonzaga because they were, not too far away.
Town, yeah.
But at that conference, we broke out into our different affinity groups. And granted, it was all Black. So this was like, men, women, different groups and different workshops. But one of the activities that one of the facilitators took us through, he had us all standing in the front of the room. And he's like, I want you to close your eyes for a moment, okay? And I want you to just kind of, rock back and forth a little bit, standing in the same place. And what I want you to envision is what it would have been like hundreds of years ago for people to be on the slave ships crossing the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And you don't have much room to move. You're just sitting there and just kind of, going with the waves. And I remember going through that activity and really wanting to connect with it. Like, wow, like it's hard to imagine what people actually experienced during that time. But there was one person who was in the session with us who was from Kenya.
Okay.
And once the activity was done, the facilitator asked the questions like, well, how did you feel? Yeah. And there were some people who are like, well, I felt really connected and, just different things. And the guy from Kenya was like, I don't feel it. But that goes back to what you were saying about people being from Africa, different countries in Africa, and not identifying as Black because Black was something that was placed upon the people during that time. It's like before people left the African continent, they weren't Black.
No.
They were
they were Ashanti or Zulu or whatever tribal group they were with. They didn't identify as Black, right?
Yeah.
But here we are. So I think it's actually a great segue talking about that, right? Like that experience. So here I am at 57 years old. And after Boeing, I decided to start this company called African Audacity Tours. And so Ghana has a very interesting history with the U.S. because a lot of the slaves that were brought to the New World actually came from that western part of Africa, right? So you have the Ivory Coast back in those days. You have the Gold Coast, which is now Ghana. You have Togo, Benin, Burkina Faso, Nigeria, all those, Cameroon, those places where they got the slaves, brought them to the New World. When you look at African-American culture today, you can literally trace a lot of that back to that place. So this part of this legacy building thing was to allow people to be able to go back. Right. It's nice that, in a classroom, you'd be able to try and imagine what it felt like. Right. But imagine if you were actually standing on the exact ground that the slaves stood on 400 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
Right. So this tour that I put together with this company, it's a 2-week all-inclusive trip. And you start in the capital city of Accra. And Ghana is, by the way, the size of the state of Oregon.
Okay.
Right. So Ghana has about 33 million people. I think the state of Oregon, maybe 6 million.
Yeah.
So it really gives you a sense of scale and the amount of people who live in that country. Right. So once you get to Accra, one of the first places we actually visit is a museum that they built for W.E.B. Du Bois.
Yes.
And he was one of the founders of the NAACP, the irony, right? And he spent the last few years of his life in Ghana, where he actually ended up passing away. So we go to his museum. We actually go to his burial plot because it's right there on the site where they buried him. And we take you to the northern part to go do a little safari. We come to the middle of the country. So in 2 weeks, we go to 5 regions of the country. But just to highlight just one or two of the events we do there. So we actually go to a place called the Ancestral Slave Walk. And this is a very fancy word for a place where they auctioned off slaves.
Yeah.
So imagine, you're talking about imagining what it felt like being a slave. Imagine going back 400 years and a 15-year-old young man who was captured in Togo or Benin, walked barefoot for about 150 to 200 miles in chains in 90 degrees, 80 to 90 degrees. And they get to this town called Asen Manso, where he gets to, because they're about to sell him off, auction him off, but they need to make him look presentable.
Right.
So there's a river where they put him, he stood in a river, took his last bath, and he came up and they auctioned him off. This young man probably had no idea where he was going, what was happening to him, but in a couple of days, he was off the continent, never to be seen again. Today, I get the opportunity to take people like you, Wil, and a person that wants to go to Ghana with me. And when you get there today, they ask you to take off your shoes. You're wearing something white. It's a very sacred place. You're wearing white, take off your shoes. And for maybe what is the length of half a football field, you get to walk in the footsteps of this young man. Feel the sand and leaves between your toes and truly, truly, truly just imagine what this young man was thinking about as he took those steps.
Yeah.
You get to stand in the same river this young man stood in, except this time you can pray, meditate, sing, whatever you feel like doing that day. And you truly, truly, truly get to imagine, right? And for me, the beauty is, even if that man, if that boy, that 15-year-old had the imagination to think about, like his, descendants, thinking back, if he had even imagined a little bit, say, wow, would my descendants ever come here?
Oh.
Would they ever come here? And here I get a chance to take the descendants of this young man back to this place where they get to stand in his shoes, in his footsteps, right? They literally thought we were done, except they forgot we were a seed, right?
Yeah.
These people came back. The imagination of taking people back was something that was, you're shipped off to Brazil, the Caribbean, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Florida somewhere. How the heck did you get back here? And so when I think about what I'm doing, for me, if I passed away today, the fact that I'm sharing this culture, this story with people who have been taken away from this original place and being able to share that for me, I think I'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll be happy that I did my part. Just trying to share this amazing story, the legacy that was left for all of us. Take people there to go see it, touch it, smell it, feel it. And that's why I started African Audacity Tours.
That is quite audacious.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. But now I remember what the other term was.
Yes.
It was intracultural identity.
Intracultural. That's a word.
Well, because most times when we have conversations around equity, inclusion, and social justice, it's intercultural.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, you need to learn about me. And, maybe I need to learn about you, because often marginalized populations don't feel they need to learn about others. It's all about them.
Yeah.
But with intracultural awareness, it's about learning about yourself.
Amen.
And there's so many people, myself included.
Yeah.
I have no idea where I'm from beyond Elberton, Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, and so is it Ghana? Is it the Ivory Coast? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the things we do, the other things that we do, I'd like to highlight is we do a name ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll send the birth date of each of my travelers to a local chief that I'm working with. You know, he prays, he pours some whiskeys, you know, they call it their libation. He pours it on the ground and calls upon the ancestors.
Oh, on the ground, not serving it up. Right?
No, literally pours it on the ground, like while he's praying.
Yes.
And comes up with a name for each of my guests.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, last time we went, this past February, it was truly an emotional moment. So I had maybe 14 people with me. We came off the bus. We came to this village with barely any electricity or running water. And we were all wearing white, got off the bus. And it almost in a procession type style, here we came. And, you know, I paid the chief to help put on this event, but I didn't realize what he was going to do, which was just absolutely inspirational. So we're off the bus. And again, this town barely has enough electricity and water. And it was almost like this chief sent an email to everyone in the town to show up. And the streets were lined with hundreds of people. And here are my American guests walking, going, okay, this is different. And we had an African band, a troupe, young people in front of us, just drumming. You can imagine, if you sit in Africa, they're drumming, they're dancing, and just cheering from this crowd, welcome in. Basically, I think what I kept hearing is welcome home.
Yeah.
So you just said you don't know which part of West Africa, but here you are in an African village being welcomed home. And we do this amazing ceremony put on by the chief, and you walk away with a certificate with your African name. It's almost like we're turning the clock back, right? Here we are 400 years ago.
Right.
Well, this is a name that you had that was taken away from you, so welcome back.
Yeah.
And by the way, it doesn't have to be a black thing.
No, it doesn't.
It really doesn't. And so for me, you know, a huge part of why I came on this podcast is to share that our humanity is so much bigger than what we look like, right? And I'd love to share this with anyone. I would love to share this with anyone, no matter what their skin shows. But it's what's in their heart, what's in their head, what's between the ears. I'd love to share this experience with anyone that's out there that's listening to this podcast.
Well, I just want to, you know, add in a little bit of information with that because, you know, there's so much research that I've looked at talks about where is the birthplace of civilization? Where did humans come from?
Oh, here we go. Well, go ahead.
You know,
you give it to me.
And so it's from the African continent.
Yeah.
And so based on what I've heard, we are all African in our origin.
Yep.
And over hundreds of thousands of years, people have migrated all over the world. And so here's an opportunity for everyone to be able to come home.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Our skin color, look, we're all in Africa, and some folks decided to migrate up the continent and go to Europe, and, you know, the skin turned lighter. But at the end of the day, we all of us are from Mother Africa, whether you currently live in Europe or Asia or wherever. This is where it all started. And you get to go there and touch it, feel it. Not what the Discovery Channel is telling you, not what anyone is telling. Literally go out there. This is something you can touch, feel, see, and no one can take that away from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to take advantage of that opportunity.
Yes. Well, I think I have your name down for 2027. So let's make it happen, brother.
Yes, let's make it happen for 27, unless somebody wants to sponsor me for 26. Yeah.
There we go. Did you all hear that? If you guys want Wil to experience this sooner, please sponsor him because we have groups going in 26.
Yes.
And I also, if you're listening to this, I'm sure occasionally you run into people and you're having a random conversation about wanting to travel or whatever. If you ever run into anyone that wants to go to Africa, anywhere in Africa, send them my way. If they sign up and actually go on a trip, I'll pay you $150. Okay, just for referring them. And if you can put a group of 10 together, because that's what really makes it worth my while to drop everything and take a group, 10 people. Whoever brings that group, I'll give that person 50% off.
Wow.
So the cost of this 2-week trip, all inclusive, transportation, food, 3 meals a day, 4 flights domestically there, hotels, transfers, everything included, everything is $5,000. And you'll get 50% off if you bring a group of 10 or more. Or if you can just refer anyone, I'll give you $150 if they go on a trip. So
I'm hearing a cohort of 10 people wearing at-home-ish sweatshirts.
There we go.
Or T-shirts if it's,
At-home-ish homies. Here we go. Let's make it happen.
Right. Yeah, I know. I did talk with someone yesterday right after we chatted that is interested, so I'll make sure to make you connected.
And let's put your name down for them, so if they sign up, you get a benefit.
Hey.
Let's do that. Yeah.
So putting that information out there like that, I'm sure our listeners are like, oh my God, this sounds great. How do they reach out to you? How do they connect with you to be able to take advantage of this opportunity?
So the easiest way is to check out my website, www.africanaudacity.com. African Audacity. That's it.
Yes.
And that's where we are. You can reach me that way, and I would love to answer any questions you have.
Perfect. And make sure you say, hey, I heard this on the At Home-ish podcast.
Exactly. And I'll know exactly who brought you, all right? And will get the credit for that, please. And this is for everybody, okay? Yes. If you live in Snohomish and your family has thought about going to Africa, but you didn't know how, this is the most affordable, safe way to do it with someone who was I'm not just some random person that lives in America that wants to take people to Africa. This is my home country.
Right.
I have connections and people on the ground who would make sure that you get there and back safely without your bank account going empty. All right. This is what we do. We enjoy doing this, and we'll love to share this with any one of you. So,
well, that was part of my motivation when we chatted the other day, because I'm sure a lot of our listeners are probably being bombarded with spam calls just like I am, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so, as you're trying to grow this business and reaching out to people, it's easy to think like, oh, this is a scam. I don't want to put my money into this. But we are real people. We are sitting right here. This is legit. This if you want this to happen, this can happen. And yes, while we are recording in the city of Snohomish, in Snohomish County, not far from the Snohomish River, this isn't just a Snohomish thing. I was looking at the Snohomish Podcast Network posting it was either this morning or yesterday. And we have listeners in over 30 different states.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, bro.
Wow. That's great. I love to hear that. Hey, if you live in New York, anywhere, and you want to become my main man in anywhere you are, if you have a big following, I would love to connect with you. And if you can bring me anyone from your city, your town, I would love to hook you up. So if you're listening to this from anywhere America, please let us know. I'd love to connect with you.
Oh, don't just stop at America. We're international too.
International too. Oh, well, my goodness. Okay. All you Italians listening to this. All right. Let's make it happen.
And one of the things that once I got that information, because I know we've got like several thousand downloads, and I know that there are people in different states and different countries, because I've connected with people in the UK and Portugal.
Wow.
I know someone in the Netherlands. And so, we hear people all over the place.
That's amazing.
But what I would love to have happen by the end of 2026. And so listeners, I want you to help me with this. When we do our end of year review in 26, I want us to be in all 50 states.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, all 50 states. And let's add some more countries.
Yeah.
You know, if you are traveling to some other country, if you're going to be in Bhutan sometime next year,
turn on the podcast.
Right. If you're going to be in Tibet, China, Nepal, you know, talk with people. And again, and you know what? I love that you made that offer about traveling to Ghana.
Yeah.
I'll say this. If you are someone who is looking to travel overseas next year,
Yeah.
reach out to me and we will get you some at-home-ish swag that you can wear on your overseas journey.
I love it.
To get the word out there.
Yes.
Because here's my thing, man. I swear every time I talk about the podcast, whether it's one that I have a podcast or the name of the podcast and how I came about the name, everyone's like, oh my God, that sounds so great. That's wonderful. Or I listened to an episode and wow, I thought I knew this person, but I just learned so much about them. Or, hey, here's this topic. I learned so much.
Yeah.
Stop hoarding the information. Right?
Share.
Get it out there. I'm going to shout out an instructor who I met years ago. She was our director of English language learners.
Yeah.
I'm totally messing up her title. But the lesson she shared at a teaching equity conference was the importance of sharing information. And the way she represented it was she was holding up a cardboard tube. Yeah. And she's like, imagine this being your mind and learning's coming into this tube. Now, what if I have a cap on this end? Nothing comes into it.
Amen.
And now maybe you have something in it. And if this end's open, then you have information that's able to go out, but nothing new comes in. So your mind is closed off. And it's like, and if it's something at this other end, then nothing gets in or out. Yeah. And it just goes stale. And so it's so important is to have it open at both ends. Yeah. That way you're constantly having new information come in. It's able to flow through you. It's picking up what's already in there. And then it's able to come out as something totally new. Right?
I love that concept.
Yeah.
That is great. And the only way you can have that is if you open yourself up, right? I mean, this world is so amazing. Different people, I'll never forget being at Boeing and this lady is doing a presentation about all the safety precautions you need to take when you travel abroad. And I'm like, did you mean to say when you travel to Seattle or, like any American city? Yeah. Because the world is really not as scary as we've made it sound. I mean, in Ghana, you know a country is safe when you are there at 10, 11 p.m. at night and you see a mother with a child on the back walking in the darkness because she can't afford to pay for transportation and she's just walking and doesn't even think that anyone will hurt her. That's how you know a country is safe. I'm not sure any of you that will be willing to ask your mother or sister to do that in an American city today, right? So the world is full of wonders. Yeah. It's full of amazing things that you can see and learn from. But you've got to, like you said, open yourself up to allow those experiences to come in because, my goodness, you're going to benefit from those type of experiences. But you've got to start by opening yourself up.
That's it.
Yeah, I love it.
I know we talked a little bit about the NAACP. Yeah. And when we talk about just being open, just really putting out in people's mind to not be afraid of the NAACP. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And I have to say that from personal experience, right? Yes. Because I remember when I first started working in the school district here, and I'll even reference being in a different district that was a lot more ethnically diverse. And I felt like the NAACP was coming after us as a school district, you know, and people were like, you better watch out. You know, they're going to come knocking on the door. And so I still remember when I first started working here, I had a call and it was someone from the NAACP. And I'm like, wait a minute, like I just started. What did I do? but it was really about connecting with me around the Cuts for Kids program. Yes. And that
was Joe Culverson?
It was Joe. Yeah. Joe's a cool dude. Lives out in this area. Yeah. But we talked about the importance of providing opportunities for our youth. Yeah. And I looked at him and I was like, okay, this is great. Yeah. And I was like, okay, so looking at our demographics here, he's like, well, no, Will, everybody's impacted by socioeconomic status. And so, yes, we are going to prioritize our young Black African youth, but we're also opening this up to our Mexican kids, our Asian kids, our white kids. And I'm like, thank you so much for saying that. You know, and I know you referenced that earlier too. And so if there's something going on in our community where you're looking for advocacy and support, can they come reach out to the NAACP?
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, when I became president because, well, for about 12 years, I was the treasurer. I was brought into the NAACP by an amazing leader called Janice Green.
Dr. Janice Green.
Dr. Janice Green. I've got to give her the credit she deserves.
Give that woman her props.
Yes. So this past summer, she wanted to run for mayor of Everett.
Yes.
And so she stepped down, and that's how I officially became president. And, you know, as someone who had basically been in the shadows of an amazing leader, I had to make my own footprint. So I came up with what I call this, like the 6 pillars. And I'll just highlight 3 of them, talking about community outreach and how we're trying to help this community regardless of race.
Right.
So one of the big things we're working on is actually diversion, right? So when I say diversion, what I mean by that is initially I focused on recidivism. How do we keep people who have spent decades in prison out? Yeah. They spent decades, they've been out, and sadly, some of these people recommit crimes and they're back in because this is the only life they know. So I'm working on that, but then it dawned on me, well, how do we keep young people who commit silly, stupid crimes as a young person, which then keeps getting worse? How do we keep them out of the prison in the first place so you don't have to work on recidivism?
Yes.
So I found, and for those people who listen to this podcast, if you don't know a gentleman by the name of Wally Webster.
Wally was on.
Then you really don't know Snohomish, because this man is everywhere in Snohomish County. Yeah. He is just an amazing human being. So Wally has a project that he calls the Access Project.
Yes.
So we partnered with Wally. Right. So the whole concept of the Access Project, if you already heard it on this podcast, is basically a police officer arrests a young person. Doesn't matter what the race is. They arrest a young person who was in a fight, a small drug, you know, they had drug on them, or they were talking on the phone, just some silly thing that we've all done as young people in some way. I don't know about the drug part. I never did that part. But we got into a fight, okay, and you were picked up. Instead of the officer officially charging that young person, they contacted the Access Project, where we hooked the young person up with an adult mentor, and we have all types of programs in the community that we can hook that young man with, that young person up with. Doesn't have to be a young man. And what you discover when you get into these cases a lot is that is just a symptom. It's just one little incident that happened with that young person. Right. But you find out that they have a much bigger problem going on at home. Maybe they don't have family support. They don't even have food to eat sometimes. There's a bigger problem that's going on at the home, which is causing this young person to act out. There's an African proverb that a young person that doesn't feel the love of a family, of the village, they don't feel the love of the village, will burn it down to feel its warmth. Let me say that again. A young person that doesn't feel the love of the village will burn it down to feel its warmth. We don't need that.
No.
We don't need young people who don't feel a sense of belonging, a sense of I'm part of this community and I want to make it better than I found it. So at the NAACP, we are literally planting trees that will never get any shade from. Let's invest in these young people.
Yes.
Because today, when a young person is arrested and put into the criminal justice system, by the time they are charged, put in prison, the judges, the lawyers, all this stuff, and out, they could cause as $2.4 million. So a small investment in a program like the Access Project can save us all. Let's just say you just don't care about young people.
Oh,
but you care about saving $2.4 million.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is what we do every day, regardless of race. We also do adult financial literacy. There are a lot of adults out there who just, I mean, like you and I might take for granted that one day we're not going to be old enough and we're going to need IRAs, a regular IRA, a Roth IRA. I take this stuff for granted because I have a finance background and I've always known this.
Right.
But you'll be shocked how many adults don't have that concept. So we partnered with Millennium Ministries.
Yes. Okay.
Right? Reverend Leilani Miller.
Yes.
We partnered with her and we do adult literacy where we bring in people and we educate them. And to entice them, we give them a refurbished laptop. They come, they take the class. As long as they complete it, they get the refurbished laptop and we feed them some knowledge on their way out.
Yeah.
We do that too, right? We have many programs which has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with us calling someone like Wil and saying, what kind of badness are you doing at the school? This is about partnering with organizations doing good work out there. And by the way, while I'm talking, let me throw one more good one out there.
One more.
A small organization called Make It Worthy.
Thank you.
All right. So Abduli, amazing young man. He's originally from Africa, from Gambia, actually. He is here. He started a mentoring program, tutoring program. He's right off of Bothell Everett. Again, we're talking about Snohomish County. He tutors young people. Currently, it's mostly a lot of African kids, but we are looking to expand that program. We gave money to that program. We're looking to expand it. Anyone that wants their child tutored without having to spend thousands of dollars. So if you are interested, you want to learn about this, again, reach out to Wil, reach out to myself, but Make It Worthy is a program that you need to be aware of. Yeah.
But one of the things I appreciate is when you mention the location of different places. And of course, people who are in the general area would know, I know where that is in Everett or in Mill Creek or, whatever in Snohomish County. But one of the things I greatly appreciate about our county executive, part of his strategic plan is to serve as a model community.
Yes.
And so the things that we're doing here in Snohomish, up in the upper left, right?
Upper left,
the things that we're doing up here are things that we would love to share throughout the state, throughout the country, throughout the world. To keep people out of the criminal or juvenile justice system, to keep people out of substance abuse, to fully facilitate food security and ensuring that people are housed. We are working to do these things. And you know what? If you got something out there that you're doing in your community that's working, let us know.
Let us know.
We might even have you on an episode.
Yes. and maybe we can partner with you.
Yes.
Because frankly, as big a name as the NAACP is, we do not go around saying we are the masters of the universe and we know how to solve every problem. Right. We do not want to reinvent the wheel.
No.
If you have an amazing program out there that you truly think is moving us all forward, please reach out. We would love to partner with you and help put you on a map.
Yes.
Okay. And let's invest financially and all that. And let's all of us benefit from this. Just reach out either to Wil or myself and we'll make it happen.
Lovely. Yes. Any other words of wisdom you want to share with our listeners?
Well, when I look at my life today, I mean, like you look at millions of African children you've seen on videos or whatever, with the poverty, whatever you think about Africa. I was fortunate enough to come to this country when I was 16. When I looked at my life, I ended up with some of the best education this country has to offer, worked with some of the biggest corporations, Microsoft, AT&T, Wireless, Boeing.
Yeah, wow.
My life is truly, it's the American dream, the American story. It's not unique at all. You'll find this story in every corner of America.
Okay.
And so today, at the age of 57, when I look at my life and what I've been blessed with and what I'm willing to give back, I look at my life and I'm like, how was this possible? Am I special? The more I think about it, when I meet immigrants, I meet people of all walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
There's a guy I met at a gym the other day, and I'll call him a full Trump supporter.
Okay.
And this guy and I had the most amazing conversation, just talking, just shooting the breeze.
Yeah.
So I think the message I would like to leave today is that as Americans, no matter where we came from, whether we came from Ghana or from Georgia, from Pennsylvania or Washington State, we truly have a lot more in common than the stuff we don't have in common.
Truth.
No matter what race, no matter what sex, no matter what ideology, whether you're LGBT, we have so much more in common, and we actually love each other so much more than the so-called leaders that we have today will want us all to believe.
Yeah.
Because if you just watch CNN and Fox News and MS Now, you would think that we are literally shooting each other on the streets every day.
Yeah, that's not.
But we don't do that.
Right.
We meet at pubs. We meet at places like this to talk. And we actually love each other as Americans. So look, please reach out.
Yes.
Talk to someone you don't know. Talk to someone that you might never thought you even... Talk to a Muslim woman who has a hijab on. And you'll be amazed how much you guys have in common. So if there's any message, I don't know if I call this profound, anything. It's just reach out and talk to someone.
Yeah.
Right? Because the more we talk, this place will be better.
Absolutely.
And these hate mongers that are out there trying to spread hate and pass it on, I think they will look silly. But if we don't talk to each other and we continue to pass on what they're trying to feed to all of us, then it doesn't make us great.
Yeah.
So that's all I'd like to share. And Wil, thank you so much, brother. I mean, you and I, sometimes I call you about something I need from the county and we end up talking anything but that. We talk for an hour.
Yeah.
And,
Easily.
So I really, I cannot thank you enough for allowing me to come here. This is a very relaxing environment you've created here. I love this.
I blame Trent.
I love this studio. And by the way, what's the name of this studio again?
Red Trucks.
Red Truck Studio. If you're out there and you would like to share your family story, this is a very amazing, relaxing environment. And this studio is truly amazing. Come out here with your grandparents, your children, share your generational story that you've always wanted to share, but didn't know how to do it the right way. These guys will put it in a very professional thing. He was even telling me about creating, like giving you a storage disk that you can put in a book so you don't lose it.
Yeah.
Right? Come out here. Let's keep this amazing place going because we need places like this in Snohomish. This is a young man that's trying to push our society forward. Please come out and support him.
Love it.
And let's keep him around. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And we do have to end with the final question as like we typically do. So what's your favorite sport?
Soccer.
That's what I thought. I figured it was a beautiful game. So you're probably excited about FIFA coming up.
Absolutely.
Okay. So they're announcing the team players.
Yes.
And they're preparing to call your name. What music is playing for you when you run out onto the field?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What music? What is my, oh, my goodness.
What's your theme song?
What's my theme song?
Yeah.
Well, it definitely has to be a song, and I have to think really hard. I have a few songs going through my head, like right now. The song about, what's the name of this? He's basically an old musician that talked about it's a new time, it's a new place. I have to think about this song for a minute. Gee, Wil, you kind of caught me by surprise.
Yeah. I had to stump you with something.
Yeah. I'm actually sitting here, but, I'm all about, I think I grew up playing soccer, enjoyed playing soccer. and it's a team sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll probably want a song that talks about us being a team.
Okay.
And going out there, we're the few, the proud, the whatever team that's out there playing. I want a song like that. So I can't think about that song right now, but I think that is a song I want. Something that talks about team playing together, accomplishing a difficult task together.
Well, thank you so much, John, for being here.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
I always appreciate our conversations.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to whether it's 27 or 26. Again, not looking for sponsors to get over
sponsors,
to
did you hear that? Let's say that again. Sponsors for Wil. It's only 5,000, please.
I know, right? Hook my brother up.
You'll raise that in an hour here.
Yes, thank you. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be in the Red Truck Studio with the Snohomish Podcast Network. I did stop by the Snohomish Apothecary last week. We do still have merch on the shelves, and I'm even wearing a sweatshirt today. But when John and I take a picture with the sweatshirt on, you will see that we have it in different colors. There's the red, there's the cream, there's the black, there's the beanies, there's the scarves. And as soon as people let me know they want more, I'll order more because I don't want to have a whole bunch of inventory sitting around. But thank you, everybody who's given feedback. Thank you, everyone, because we're nearing the end of the year here.
Yeah.
This has been such a wonderful year with guests and conversations, and we're looking forward to more. Looking for sponsors for episodes for next season, so we'll talk about that too. And when we wise up, we rise up. Peace out.